But for everyone joining that has been missing Tonio for the last couple of weeks, welcome back to Monday Morning Muscle with your host, Tonio Burton. And it looks like you're pretty active recently. I saw you jumping on some other shows, getting your name out there, talking shop.
Yeah, I'm always open to, doing podcasts and talking to people.
Yeah, you'll never say no to anyone. That's the good thing.
I enjoy it, and I noticed a lot of it, though, is about my story, where I come from.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if people haven't seen like those, or I think even on the first episode we talked extensively on it, it's just like where you've come from to where you are now is just phenomenal.
Right. Do you hear the dogs in the background?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
They know I'm right here by the door, so they're like whimpering.
Oh, over on BNN, Jason Lowe, his dogs are monsters. As soon as we start recording, just
yeah.
But what has been going on in essentially the entire month of November for you? How's recovery? How's training?
Recovery's good. Just like I was saying before, I'm not wearing bandages anymore, which is great because it was so restrictive because I have my right arm wrapped up, and every time I do like a curl or a press or anything, the bandages rub against it, so just super uncomfortable. So I'm glad to be out of all that. My legs, they're healed completely for the most part. My hand still a little sensitive on the palm, but it's gone. You can barely see where it was at. No, you can see where it's at.
Yeah.
But this arm, so this is the one I'm waiting on. The skin is still very thin, so like those little nicks there, that's from me bumping into stuff and it just opening up again.
Crazy.
But other than that, I mean, it feels good to be able to move again. I could sit comfortable, I sleep comfortable. I don't need help getting, grabbing onto something to pull myself up. I could just, sit up and get out of bed because that was terrible. And wearing shoes again, Yeah.
Wow. How many weeks did you have like that?
Man, for what happened, probably 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
It was just like I lay in bed and couldn't just like get up. I had to like rotate my body. Two of my legs hit the ground, my feet hit the ground, and then I can like rock up, or I'll go to a knee. So I'll slide off the bed and then I'll stand. Yeah.
Wow. It was that just because like the skin wasn't malleable, or
The movement of everything hurt. Like,
oh, okay.
With the skin like starting to like tighten up. If I was straightening out my arm or bend it, oh man, it just felt like it was just ripping. So yeah, everything hurt. Every bit of movement hurt.
Man, but now I mean, it looks like it's healing, but pain wise, how you feeling?
No pain. Unless I bump into something.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh shit, I need to sit down for a minute.
Yeah, especially right there, you were busting it open just off, bumping into the weight rack or something.
Right, walking past machines, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm getting mad at the machine like it did it,
Right, yeah. That immediate reaction, just, son of a gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So how's training going, though? Are you still kind of pushing the off season and getting the weights back up, or?
Oh, yeah. I honestly feel stronger now than what I did before it happened.
Okay.
Which tells me that break that I took off was needed.
Well, you also spoke about you being able to like adjust your mindset from that motorcycle accident.
Oh yeah. Like I was saying, when because before I was always like, when I ride before I was reckless. I'm just all go, and having a bike for as long as I did, and multiple bikes, and I've fallen multiple times before. I fell on the freeway before, and riding with the biker crew that I used to ride with, it was always, even like for the police, it's like they can't catch you. So most of them wouldn't attempt to, but when they do, we just, we're gone. And that day, I was calm, I was chill, wasn't speeding, nothing. And a car tried to beat traffic and they hit me, whatever. I was on my way to pick up my son.
Yeah.
And so like I was saying with the mindset thing, in that moment of after the crash and I finally came to a stop, I remember it was like everything went dark. Like it was black. And but I felt like I was still present, but like having a choice. because that shit hurt bad, and it was like, damn, do I want to get up from this, you know?
Yeah.
And I heard he's dead. He's been laying there, and then I popped up, and I just remember looking for my phone because I remember I had to pick up my little dude, and nobody was going to be able to, you know, nobody knew what happened, and he didn't know what happened, so he was going to be stuck waiting for me. So trying to find my phone, someone took my phone. Yeah, took my phone when I
Yeah,
was
you
laying
mentioned
there.
that. It was trashy.
Crazy. So I was just like that. It didn't make me mad. It made me more mad that the first thing this person thought about was steal his phone. You know, like he could have took the money and the cards that I had on the floor, but instead it was that. So that it did piss me off. Thankful for the ambulance driver though. He pulled out his phone and he was able to contact everyone for me. Numbers that I could remember. And
Yeah.
then coming back after that though and like going through the healing process, I'm glad I had people around me to help me
Hmm.
get through everything because like I said, moving was hard and bandaging myself up was hard and because can't move as it is. So having to wrap up my arm from the top of my arm right here all the way
Yeah.
down, trying to wrap that up was impossible. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I had people around. And I always like keeping everyone distant. You know, I don't ask for help. I can
It's
be struggling. I'm gonna get through it on my own.
something in our heads. Good people don't want to feel like a burden to the people that they love.
Hmm. Right.
It's a thing across the board for like decent people.
Yeah. And it changed, you know, the mindset of it's okay to have people close to you. You know, growing up, especially in the life I grew up in, we were taught the more you show someone, the more dangerous they become to you. You know, and that's from them having your address to them knowing your deepest and darkest secrets. If you had the life I was in, if you had to go handle something, you did it by yourself. Because the more people who know, the better chances of getting in trouble for what you just did. You know, so having that mindset growing up, even all the way to now, you know, that was my mindset. And then being able to have people around who were helping me and didn't look at me like, yo, this is a burden, you know, they wanted to help me. It changed everything, you know, and posting, because I never used to post relationship kids online like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Not for my nieces, to my nephews, to my boys, relationships never. Because again, not that I'm affiliated in anything like that, but back then when I was doing the things, it was if we can't get him, who can we get? And you know, if I'm putting that online, that's my mindset is my son in high school, you know, they know what school he goes to. Now I'm putting him at risk. You know, a relationship. They know who this person is or where they're at. Now they're going after them, you know. So that's why I
Hmm.
always just kept low key about those things. You know, people call me the perfect stranger because I let you know who I am, but you only know what I want you to know, which is if you look on Instagram, I live in the gym. That's it. Up until now, people now see me posting about my little ones or even the car I have. That's things I've never done. So I just feel like being born again. You know, I don't have to live that way. So I'm, you know, pulling away from it of that mindset. So that's why when like people ask me like mentally what I feel, it's that it's just a reset.
Hmm.
I needed this accident to happen on a deeper scale of what I was going through and the way I was brought up and the things I was taught and the way I was thinking.
Hmm. Yeah. That's it's crazy to think you've been able to take such a, I mean, truly like life changing, life ending situation and find the positives, which you're always pretty
Hmm.
good about doing that. But I mean, truly, you're taking what happened and kind of like turning a page, turning a chapter, I'd say.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it
So,
was. I mean, hearing it so many times, you know, you should be dead. Like, if someone half your size slid as far as you did, they would have been ate up to the bone, and you shouldn't be breathing. You shouldn't be walking. And then when I finally seen the bike, because it was weird, I actually walked and picked up the bike, like stood it up because I thought my
oh
phone was
really?
under it. Yeah, but it was just my shoe. So I wish I had this shoe so you can see how bad it was. But didn't find it. And then once they sent me the picture of what the bike looked like,
Uh huh.
I was just like, oh shit. Like that's where my hands go. That's where my face is at because we ride low. You know, we're bent forward. And
Right. Right.
for no breaks or sprains or tears or fractures that happened was unbelievable. Like, I'm happy that all it was just burns.
Yeah. I'm trying to, those pictures you put up with, I mean, everyone was reposting it like it just happened. But
yeah,
did you put that on your
that's what I was like.
story or?
No, it should be like the second post on my page.
Oh, really? But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Oh, the glove. Yep. I'll share it
Yeah.
for everyone interested. But everyone was tagging you, and like for some reason it kept popping up on my feed. And I was like, all right, I'm getting tired of this. Like, let's let's just let everyone know that this happened a month ago, and you guys, all of you suck because you're not paying attention.
When people were messaging me and they're like, man, I hope you're okay. Like, we pray for a speedy recovery. I'm thankful that they, care. But at the same time, I was
Right.
like, they didn't read nothing I said.
No one they're not like real fans, or they're not like super.
Yeah.
They're real fans, but they're not super fans. And I think
Yeah.
there's a delineation there. But yeah, this
Right.
bike looks wild, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, the front tire, the way that's bent, that's way more bent than what it's supposed to be. The whole front fender fairings are gone.
Wow.
Yes. That's what, if you didn't see the gas tank, you wouldn't be able to tell that's the front of a bike,
Well, yeah. I mean, truly, yeah.
Yeah,
How'd
and
the
it
insurance?
was crazy because they were telling me when they total bikes or cars, when they total them out, they check the frame. And if the frame
Yeah.
is bent, even the slightest, and he said it, the frame was broken. Like, it was cracked all the way through.
Yeah, that's the same with vehicles, or like, four-wheeled vehicles. Is if the frame's bent, it's totaled.
Right.
Yeah, dude. That's wild that's all that happened to you.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because like my right arm. So that's my left side. My right arm. Probably like 3 days after, I noticed
Uh-huh.
my hand swelling. Like, it looked like I had water retention from after a show. My whole right
Sure.
arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just because of the injuries, it's like that. But then I
Mhm.
started to get hot. So then I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to the hospital because now I'm in pain, and this is like I can't even sleep. So I go to the hospital, and he's looking at all the wounds, and he's like, yo, it doesn't look like any infection. There's no discoloring, no
That's what I was
smell.
thinking.
So you're healing good. But then he looked at my right arm, and I was able to push down on my arm, and the fingerprint will still be there. And then he walked away. He cleaned it, made sure he wrapped it back up, and then he wrote me a prescription for antibiotics. And when I was reading the paper, he goes, "That's for cellulitis." And I've never even heard of that. So I'm like, cellulite, like that's the fat shit.
Right.
So what's that? And then I Google it and I'm reading about it. I'm like, yo, people actually die from it. So it was a good thing I went to the hospital when I did. And he said, he was like, man, you had the swelling. Like, these are stages leading up to the worser end of it. Because
Mhm.
I was already thinking like, yo, they're gonna have to cut off my arm or something.
Oh, God.
Yo, I was freaking myself out. Never Google your injuries.
Nope. I'll just live in sweet ignorance bliss.
Yeah,
Yep.
Google makes it 10 times worse.
Yep. Just pub, or was it Wikipedia, the medical conditions? Like, man, my
Yeah,
shoulder hurts. It's like, oh, it's probably cancer. Yeah. Yeah. For you
it's
guys
about to
don't,
fall off. You're growing another body part.
essentially, yeah. You're like, oh, okay, I have stage 3 dementia. Wow, I didn't know that. It's
Yeah,
like, wow, I've had a
that's so
cough for a week
bad.
and a half. Dude, well, I mean, we're happy that you're healing and recovering. Looking at those most recent Instagram photos and videos, looks like your training is getting there. You're still looking full. You're always lean,
Hmm.
so nothing's really changing there. But I mean, I think everyone's happy that you're doing well.
Right. I was getting a lot of love, about it and everything, and telling people, this happened about a month ago. So anytime I was training and it was wrapped up, that was after the accident.
Right, right.
They were showing a lot of love, saying how they're glad I'm still here and share the stage again and want to see me compete again and, win the Olympia and, win Arnold. So it's just kind of like, it was cool seeing, people see the vision that I see.
Yes. Yep. I think the more you compete, the more people get to see you, especially when you're peaking perfectly. The more people get to see that, the more people are realizing that, the comparison to Dexter Jackson, there's a reason. So to see you winning in New York Pro, and then, now we're going to start getting to the echelons of winning Arnold Classics, like that's when we start seeing the ball really start rolling and people are going to start really paying attention.
I was like, yeah, we got plans. So I wanted to compete earlier in the year, and then Justin was like, yeah, how about we do mid? It gives us a longer off season to keep growing, and it's not too much of a prep coming into Olympia. So I was all about it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, something like, I mean, yeah, we won't ruin the surprise for people. They gotta wait. But I'm sure we'll bring Jacob on and we'll announce it whenever you guys are ready.
Oh yeah.
But we have, once the big man weekends this weekend, or I think it's this weekend, right?
Yeah, that's the one that
yeah, Akeem's getting ready. Do you know? I guess that's a good transition. We'll talk about Akeem for a little bit, but after this big man weekend, I don't know if we have any other open shows until, is it the Arnold? Is the next one? Detroit's before the Arnold.
Yeah, Detroit's before.
Dang, okay, that's smart. I thought they were going to do it after.
Yeah, no, Detroit, then it's the Arnold. Oh, then it's Pittsburgh, right? After the Arnold.
Yeah. Yep. Pittsburgh, yep. And then New York is somewhere in there, and then Brazil and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think they haven't put out the official schedule for 2025, have they?
No, not yet.
Okay. Because that's when you start seeing like the Puerto Ricos and the random shows getting thrown in there. The FIBO is supposed to have a men's open. I heard that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. That's what Martin's talking about doing.
Huh? Yep. We'll talk about Martin in just a second. But I don't think we've heard anyone else going for the big man weekend besides Akeem. Definitely Akeem is the favorite for the show. I mean, the guy is
he's looking crazy.
Very conditioned. He's not letting off the gas at all here. He wants to get that early qualification and then roll in. It seems when he hits the peak perfectly, I don't know your thoughts on it, but when he hits the peak perfectly at the Olympia, he's always a top 10 guy. So I wonder if he can, if there's more to him or not, or if this is kind of like, are we seeing like the best of Akeem?
I think he looks better right here than what I've seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw an old throwback. It was a comparison of like him versus 10 years ago. And I know it's dangerous to look in the tags because people get weird.
Oh yeah, random body shots.
Yep, yeah, random people in their underwear. It's like, well, this isn't Akeem.
Right.
It's like a random scrawny Indian guy. It's like, well, okay, I didn't want to see that. Thank you.
Get that a lot. Like I'll watch. I'm like, am I in this video? Like, why do you tag me in this?
Well, I don't know. I don't know where it went, but yeah, I guess the conversation is, what do we expect from Akeem after this show? He's gonna win. I don't think there's any confusion on that one. But is he gonna do the Arnold? Is he gonna? I just want to see him. You remember when Justin Rodriguez placed? Was it at the Arnold? He came in for prejudging and he was like second or third, and he was just like shredded lean.
I was like, didn't he end up winning though?
No, Justin Rodriguez. No, he hasn't won an Arnold Classic. No, but he was so on for that prejudging. Everyone was like, this guy's second or third, and then finals, it just kind of went back to what we normally see from him, and then I think he got like fifth or sixth.
Wow.
Yeah, so not so much with Akeem. I think Akeem, for the shows that aren't the Olympia, he always comes in a little softer. The lines aren't as hard, but he always looks good. But the Olympia, he seems to always nail the Olympia.
I wonder what his feedback is, if he asks for feedback. I know a lot of, which is weird, but I know a lot of pros don't ask or care to ask for feedback. But you think they would. But I wonder what his feedback would be from, Sandy, Steve, Tyler, someone.
Yeah. Akeem, let us know. Did you get any feedback?
I was like, yeah, you should look into that. Because, I mean, that's the only way to really know what you need to do is to ask.
Yeah.
And what they want to see.
Yeah, that's like if you went into the off season and you're like, oh, I'm just going to throw a dart at a wall and just have like size, symmetry, conditioning, I don't know. I don't know what else you can improve upon in the off season, and you're just like, that's what I'm going to work on this year. So I don't know. It
Yeah, I
just
don't know. I
doesn't
think
make any sense.
like when I did New York, after New York, I hit up Tyler right away and asked him what held me back, and he was like, "I want to see you have uh, better hamstrings, so
Really?
more dense hamstrings."
Okay.
So I was like, "My hamstrings," and he was like, "Build up your hamstrings." I'm like, "All right," which is cool because I was just thinking like, "Yo, I just got my ass whooped," and it's this major problem or whatever. Like I just couldn't, keep up with
Mm.
the competition. But then he was like, "No, hamstrings." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I hit up Sandy too because she was judging Cal the show the
Yep.
following week. So I said, "Hey, Sandy, I was just in New York. What do I need to work on?" People don't. I mean, yeah, people don't know, but all the judges talk to each other.
Absolutely.
So when I hit up Sandy and asked her, she sat and I talked with Tyler as well. So they gave me my feedback what I need to bring to Cal, and we did that. And I handled business, do what we needed to do. We ended up winning. And I remember talking to Sandy after that show for feedback and going to Olympia. She was like, "I need you to bring the conditioning that you bring. Like, don't play size game, bring your conditioning."
Mm.
So then I was like, "Okay, cool." And talk with Justin or whatever, and he was like, "I mean, we can bring conditioning, that's not a thing, but let's bring size with it." So that's what made us go off season. When I talked to Tyler before actually deciding off season, I was like, what asking him like what he thought about it and if I should or whatnot. And he was like, "Well, what are your goals for it?" I was like, "I want to be a little bigger. I'm always getting told small. And so I just want to be bigger." And he was like, "How much bigger?" And so I told him 275. He was like, "Don't chase the number on the scale." He goes, "What you have, just improve it." And I was like, "Compliment what we already got." He
Mm-hmm.
goes, "Yeah." So I'm like, "All right." So that's why I think we're not pushing anything. We're just, running our race. I'm not a fan of supplements that can harm the body.
Hey,
So minimal is better, And I like how Justin does it. He understands it. He's not forcing anything. We're just, running our own race, like I just said. So the size is coming, You see it in the videos. It's there. Now
mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of time of putting it on stage now.
Yeah. I think Sandy and Tyler are spot on with the hamstring feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Because from the front, I don't think very many people in the open can beat your silhouette. The symmetry, like the X factor is just so nutty. But I will say that the glutes and the hamstring are probably the area that needs the most improvement, especially with
Right.
like detail. I mean, you know
Yeah.
this. You know this.
No, you're right, though.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's definitely like a difference from the conditioning in the quads and even on the hamstrings right here and the quads on the side. But then the glute and the hamstring. Yeah. Imagine seeing like
Right.
those oh man, who had like Phil Heath-esque those piano wires down the back?
Yeah, those hamstrings are crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see those again.
You those mama jammas on you? We're cooking with gasoline. I think
Hell
is what they're
yeah.
doing. I suppose another guy, open guy in the off season making improvements. Uh, Nick Walker is
Oh
definitely
yeah.
in the off season here, and he's saying brick by brick he's building up. And I think I saw on Muscle Discord, he was talking about is he going to do the Arnold Classic? And I suppose I've been a little detached from bodybuilding this month, but I don't see why Nick doesn't do the Arnold.
I mean, he has the size to compete
Yeah,
with
he's
whoever,
definitely a favorite. We know Samson's doing the Arnold, but you can't just I don't think any open competitor can look at a pro schedule and be like, "Oh, well, Samson's doing that show, so I'm not going to do it." Like, I don't think that's ever really been a thing, except for the guys that are, especially classic. I think of like Logan Franklin. He always does like smaller shows. A lot of classic guys they do smaller shows, get that qualification, and then they can focus on the O. I feel like in the
Right.
open, we don't really get that luxury because we have to do you got to do the shows. You can't just
Right.
try to pick a smaller show because if everyone's thinking that way, it's not going to work out.
I mean, it would just make the smaller show a more competitive show if
Exactly.
everybody's trying to run to it.
It's going to defeat the whole purpose of a smaller show.
Right. But I mean, you'd be surprised. Like you hear about a lot of people, trying to run from someone. Well, I guess don't want to compete against someone because they know they won't beat them.
Right.
Which I think, you can't think that way, especially in the sport, because anything could happen. Like when we did New York, Nick and Martin could have came in off, and then that could have pushed me up.
Bam, right
That
there.
I could have came off, all three of us, and then Stu comes in. You know what I mean? So you just got to play your game, bring you.
Yeah, and that was with Martin versus Chris. I think I might have that coming up next, but Martin was sweating a lot. So like he was making it even closer of a comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely there's a size comparison, a difference in size. But, Chris, I think, did a great job of holding his own against Martin.
Right.
But for this version of Nick, what's the feedback he's getting from the judges right now? The last time we saw him was the New York, where people said he wasn't 100%. So he's taken this huge off season. What is Nick Walker's goal? If you were in his, what kind of sandals are those? I don't know what kind of sandals they are, but if you were in Nick Walker's sandals, what would your strategy be right now in the off season?
I mean, I think what made Nick a freak was his size and the condition he came with. Came New York when he competed. That size that he normally has wasn't there, nor the conditioning. When I see Nick, I knew. I was even saying it to everybody else. They came in to do just enough without prepping too hard, so they could focus on Olympia. Really, this was just to get the qualification. But that's why when everybody was saying how close it was close. But if Nick 100% came, it wouldn't have been that. So I think right now he's probably. I mean, shit, you see it. He's pinned back on his size. He's staying lean. So his conditioning's going to be there. We know that. So, I mean, that's it. He just comes back bigger like he used to be. Shit's going to change.
Yeah. And for most bodybuilders, the longer you compete, the bigger you get, the better you get. So Nick is only going to be as long as he's focusing on the off season the way we assume he is. I mean, I just saw him get back onto the RP training app. So him and Jared Feathers, Mike Israetel, or Dr. Mike Israetel, they're all going to be really hammering the detail of his training. So you can expect that Nick is going to be the Nick that we know. So when he gets on stage, if it's going to be the Arnold, if it's going to be the New York for the three-peat, I don't know. But the next time we see Nick, you should expect to see a better, more refined, better quality version than what we saw at New York.
And one thing I like about Nick, too, is the more shit you talk to him, the more motivated he gets. He wants to shut you up. So I seen someone on his story comment, how does it feel being retired or someone 2-year retired or some shit like that? And Nick response was a Nick response, but people will understand when they do that, all they're doing is pushing them to go even harder. So I mean, I love watching it, love seeing it, and I feel the same way. I think not competing. At first I was getting, he's scared and he knew he wouldn't do well. Fozzy, too, whatever. He
Really?
had his shit to say, and I'm just like,
he
I made
only
a
has
bet with
negative
that dude.
things to say.
Yo, every show I've done, when he's talking about the lineup, he downplays me and overhypes everyone else. And then when I win, he still downplays me and talks about who should have won. And it's just like, so I said I can do a top 5, top 6 finish next year's Olympia. And he said I couldn't. Pretty much he said I couldn't. So I commented on his YouTube and I told him, I said, well, let's bet. I'm confident in what I do and we could bet money. I was like, but if you don't want to do that, let's bet your YouTube channel, delete it. No response, no words on it. So I'm like, oh, he gonna act like he didn't see that. But now people will see this and they'll tag him. So
there we go. Fozzy Fitness, I think it is, or Fozzy.
Yeah.
Even though, I run the Bodybuilding News Network and I should be watching all these other channels, it's impossible to watch every single commentator. I'd love to sit down and watch Ron Harris every day. I'd love to watch, Fuad does a great job with his stuff. There's just so many talk shows. It's impossible to see everything, So,
Right.
Fozzy, no disrespect, at least on my end. I mean, I know you're disrespecting my boy here, but I don't know you. But yeah, put some love on Tonio's name, man. He's a top 10 men's open Olympian. I mean, and Fozzy is, I don't know, does he compete? Has he gotten on stage before?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what he does other than that. You know what I mean?
Nah, you gotta.
It is what it is, though.
You gotta be on stage. Well, I don't know. I know some good commentators that have never competed, but I think the best of the best have been on stage, and
Right.
I've been on the stage. I've done a couple shows. You know, I've got my man posing trunks hanging up over there. So we're gonna do a show next year. I lost my bet. I said Hadi was gonna win last year, and Samson won. So I
Mm-hmm.
need to lock it in. I got to get a coach. I got to figure out what kind of supplementation I want to start doing, and then we're gonna do an NPC show. We're gonna do it. It's gonna.
Sound like you said you need Justin as a coach.
Oh, Justin, man, that's like a real coach, and I don't know. Well, so like I'm so bad about. I'm so difficult. Like it's so hard for coaches. I need a dad. I need a daddy. Essentially, I need someone
That's
to hold
Justin
my
all the
hand.
way.
Justin, will you be my daddy?
Yo, like I'm telling you, every day I get a message from Justin. How you doing? How you feel? What's going
No
on?
way.
And I hit him back. I tell him whatever, whatnot. And then, all right, well, I'm just checking on you, making sure you're good. By the end of the day, I got another message coming. Hey, how was your day? What's going on? Did you got your meals in? Yeah, oh yeah.
Dude, I need that in my
That's why
life.
Justin. Yeah, that dude's family now.
I need someone to I need a family man to hold my hand and get me across the finish line.
Right.
Justin, let me know, man. Let me know what I need to do. He's gonna be like, all right, 1,000 milligrams of test to start. We're gonna Josh, obviously you're an elite specimen. We're just gonna start you on the super dose. We're gonna do
Oh,
1 rep maxes for the first 6 weeks.
hey, his workouts, I fucking hate them.
Yeah,
I worked
hate
out
him.
with him and I worked out with him and Joey in Vegas. And I
Okay,
don't know what it is, but I'll get a pump fast. Like after the first set, I'll get a pump. And so
okay,
we hit legs. And I think it was yeah. So we did leg extensions first. I already have a pump is there. And then we go do a hack squat. By the end of my first set, my legs are not working with me anymore. Like they are done. So then they made me do a drop set. So we finished the hack squat and then went on to the leg press. I couldn't even move the damn platform. My legs were
really.
done. Oh yeah, I tried to like lay down and like hold my feet up, but you could just see how like full my quads were. So Justin was like, I don't know what it is. If he does more than 12 reps, he just swells up. But
That's
yeah,
not a
his
bad
his
thing to have
workouts
a
they
good
need.
pump.
Oh yeah, even when he had me depleted, he was like asking me like, "What are you eating? What you
Mm-hmm.
tell me to eat?" He goes, "But your pump is still as good." I'm like, "Dude, it doesn't go away."
Mm-hmm.
Backstage, it's so easy for me to get pumps.
Just genetic freak. You know, speaking on the perks of just having phenomenal genetics. Like some people just don't get it. You know, some people are born 6'3" and pasty white, and other people are born at the perfect bodybuilding height with the perfect. I saw something there saying tall people, because we have like an extra like 2 inches on our arm length, it adds so much extra like distance to our bench press, which makes it.
Oh yeah.
And then the leveraging and everything. I'm like, well, that's why I suck. Oh, thank you, YouTube. Tonio's over here finding out he has cancer from watching a Google search about his squishy arm, and I'm over here like, oh, it's my ancestors. It's their fault.
Yeah. Man, hey, you know what? I wish I was 6'3".
It has its perks, man. Like, well, so like I'm 6'3", 220 ish. Ellen, my girlfriend, is 4'11", 100 pounds maybe. So like
Oh
when we're
wow.
walking around, it's comical. And then she's
Yeah.
been wearing Scott from Old School Bodybuilding. She's been wearing my 2XL big hoodie with the huge logo on the back. If I had it, I'd take a picture and send it to you. Like she'll just walk around with that with like little legs coming out from underneath of it. Just
I
this
can imagine like
huge.
going down to her ankles.
It's like almost knee height, and then it's just old school bodybuilding, and people are like, I'm sure people look at her and they're like, huh, that's weird. But then they'll see me, and I always have an old school bodybuilding hat on. They're like, okay, checks out.
Now it makes sense.
Dude, I don't want to talk about me too much, but training has finally started to click. and things aren't
Nice.
hurting anymore. I'm getting chest pumps. Like I'll have to post my pictures the other day or from today because I had my shaker and it was like perfectly in shot, and I was doing a lat spread with the goon lighting, and I looked wide and the midsection was tight. And I'm like, okay, we still got it.
Nice.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for blessing me with no pain today. It's
Nice.
such a battle. Yeah, she's got that big hoodie on, the Train Hard Be Elite. If anyone knows Scott's brand, that's the hoodie, the zip up. And but yeah, man, it's training's good. I did my first leg workout in probably a month the other day, like 2 days ago.
Nice.
So, today is the day where you can't really sit anymore and everything hurts.
Oh
So
yeah. Right
we're
before
having
you have
fun.
leg day again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we're training maybe 2 on, 1 off right now. So I
Got you.
I want to get on to. Well, I'll let Justin decide what frequency we need to train at. So Daddy
It's crazy.
Justin's gonna let me know what's up. Terrible. Man, what else is going on in the world of bodybuilding? We got we talked about Martin for just a second. He's doing the FIBO. So that
Right.
is like the big German expo in Germany. But now they're finally adding a men's open pro show. Which
Right.
do you have any idea why it took so long for Dennis, right? Dennis James? He's a German legend in the sport. Like, why did it take him so long to have his own show?
You know what? I think so much comes into it, and putting up the money for each category to be able to be in the show, that I think
Mm.
it just makes people hesitate to want to spend that much. Especially if you don't know who's going to come to it or how good it's going to be. It's a big risk.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I want to get our names on maybe some NPC shows, or I can't. If you can get somebody to pay you to do a guest posing at a show this year, let me know. Let me know ahead of time, so maybe I can see if I can fly out or what we can do. But that would be fun. I couldn't imagine at the level of Dennis. He's putting so much money into probably getting the show finally going, let alone
Right.
the way my brain thinks is like, oh, if I could just get to a show, let alone like have my name on a show. And then furthermore, to run a show. It's definitely a tall order. So Dennis, we appreciate what you're doing for the sport and bringing men's open pro bodybuilding to Germany finally, because it's been a
Right.
long time waiting. And we need more men's open shows anyways.
Yeah.
We got
You
like what,
see,
like,
like every show has men's physique.
well, yeah. I think that's like a money thing. It only costs like 2,000 or something to get the men's physique sanctioning fee. Because
Right.
didn't Justin talk about that for Chicago? Didn't he say
No,
that he
I
had to
think it
like
was,
throw?
yeah, it was for Chicago.
Yeah, he had to throw a bunch of money in for the 212, and that was like he said it was like over 10,000, and that's no offense to the 212 guys, but that's just 212. You look at men's open, what is
Right.
that, like 15, 20,000, just for the league to
Probably.
tell you can do it? I mean, are you helping or hurting the sport at that point?
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even know that was a thing. I just
Sanctioning
thought,
fees, yeah.
yeah, I just thought it was a thing where it's like, okay, we want to have this at the show this year. Let's go.
Mm,
I know you had to throw up money for it.
yep. Yeah, well, I think what comes with the sanctioning fee is maybe the pro league helps with the Olympia qualifiers. Like, I don't know, like when
Mm,
you won Cali, you don't have to answer the question, but like with Cali, was there any kind of like kickbacks from the pro league or from the Cali pro to help you with travel expenses for the Olympia?
yeah, they depends on where you're flying from though. Like whether you're in the US or outside of it,
Mm-hmm.
then they it's like they reimburse your flight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
just the
So they
flight?
take care of your travel and your stay. So for open, I believe we get 3 days, 3 nights. And I think 212 was 2 days. And I think all the other ones is that. I think open has the longest stay taken care of.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. So they're helping with the
Hmm.
flights back and forth and 3 nights in Las Vegas. I mean,
Right.
that's got to be, maybe $2,000
Yeah,
on the cheap end.
it's right. And how many athletes are there and they're doing all that for? And then you have athletes, who've went and couldn't compete. So then that's just, money wasted for the most part.
Yep.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think that makes sense that's why you have to make these payments for these shows because what they get back for the Olympia is crazy. The jumpsuits we get because for 212 all we got was the tops, but for open we get top and bottom. And I
Really?
believe classic physique is just ours top and bottom maybe. I know women's bodybuilding is top and bottom. Fitness is top and bottom, I believe. Like they get a whole tights. Like their
Yeah.
outfits are dope too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Abby Bolton's. She's a fitness Olympian. She had like the full get up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Those are
it's a lot
cool,
they
but
put back into it.
I've always wanted to buy those Nibia jumpsuits, but they're like
Yeah.
$300. Like I wonder if it's like for like the historic piece, I wonder if it's worth buying. Cause now I'm looking at like 1990s, early 2000s Olympia t-shirts, and those things sell for
Right.
like $100 a piece. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I should have bought it when I could have,
Oh yeah. That's why I still have all my sweaters, all my
Absolutely.
jumpsuits.
Yep. I've got the Indie Pro that you did when you were in 212.
Yeah.
He sent me a customized sweater. It said Indie Pro and
Okay.
it had Sanch on the back. So like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of those because I don't feel like outside of the Detroit Pro, I don't think a lot of shows offer merch that you can buy.
Nah.
No, like
At
I
least
wish that was a thing.
for any pro, yeah, any pro they just gave us shirts. It was the
Yeah.
baseball style shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dave. Yeah, Dave was really good about Bowers. He was phenomenal about
Right.
the merch and stuff. He sent me videos of like him, his wife, and his little daughters. They were like making the shirts. It was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, man, I was so happy to that small little piece of bodybuilding history that I could have been part of that, and it was just, a cool little
Yeah.
thing that not a lot of people know about. But what's up with the merch, man? If I want to buy a New York Pro hat, let me buy a New York Pro hat. Like, do you
Yeah.
think these
That's a good
shows
idea.
are they like dropping a ball here, or like who needs to make this happen? Does Scott at Old School Bodybuilding need to make every single pro show's merch now? Because he did it for the Hurricane, he did it for I think it was the Tampa. I mean, the dude, but that's just for the athletes. That's not for purchase. Like
Right.
Tim
Well, I know
Gardner,
with
like what's going
New
on,
York
man?
Pro, with the New York Pro, Steve does have a booth there, but it's all like Bev's gym merch.
Yeah, like it's the Bev stuff, and then like the NPC News
Right.
Online stuff, which I think I saw Tyler was posting some like new designs and logos. And thank God
Mm-hmm.
he did that because that stuff was from the 90s. Like if you went on the NPC website, it had like Dorian and Jay Cutler modeling for the stuff you could buy. And I saw that at the Olympia. It was like there was a booth. I'm like, this is like a blast from the past. Y'all are still making this stuff, but people are still buying it. People
I
want
was
to
like,
rep.
people want that old stuff.
They want to rep the league. So, maybe I'm wrong for thinking that way. I don't know. But as we digress, and I don't know who else we'll talk about. We've got what else is going on? We talked briefly about Kerrith. I guess we could talk about him for just a second. But case in point, if I want to buy a Japan Pro hoodie, let me buy a Japan Pro hoodie. Shout out,
Hit up Kerrith before they leave.
yeah, shout out. Oh, for real, I'm sure he's already flown out by now. But that would have been well, I was talking with Hide, not Yamagishi, and he was trying to figure out how to sell their stuff, or not sell it, but how to have it online. And there's like this brand that was they worked with, and I don't know, it was a big headache for me to try to buy that stuff. But
Got you.
congratulations, Kerrith, winning the Japan Pro in the 212 division, which qualifies him for the 2025 Mr. Olympia. And Kerrith is one of these guys that's in the conversation for, I think he got 5th or 6th last year.
And I think he was top 5.
Yeah, I think he was 5th. So, and people were like, "Oh, he should have placed higher." And I thought he had a really good response to that. Kerrith, if I'm quoting you wrong, please correct me. But he essentially was saying, "There's nothing to laugh about for being the top 5, like the 5th best bodybuilder in the world for his division."
Right.
And I thought that that was like a perfect way for him to say, "I'm happy and proud of what I've accomplished, and I'm looking forward to improving upon that."
Right.
You can't say it much better
And
than
he
that.
can. I mean, you look at him, I think really is just bringing conditioning now.
Yep. Yeah,
Because he has a size.
he's kind of one. I think he's one of the few guys in 212 that's next up on the docket. Keon is going to stay in 212 for a little bit longer, but I think he's going to continue to dominate the league or the division.
Oh yeah.
Clarita is always going to be that number 2 guy unless he can pop back up to 1. Outside of him, I think Ahmad Ashkanani is kind of falling down in placings.
Yeah, his placing's been going the other way.
Yep. Yeah. And then, but Angel Calderon is kind of right in there too. He's placed 2nd, he's placed 3rd. So there's a couple of these
There's one
guys
more.
that I'm trying to think who else was in that top 5.
He won New York.
212.
Yeah, he beat Kerrith at New York. I can't think of his name.
Oh man. Was that Bevs? Let's see if we can find something real quick. 212. Who won the 212 at New York Pro? Well, it wasn't Flex Luke. And this is one way to do it. Just scroll through. I can't remember who beat him.
And I don't think he's from here. I think he's overseas as well.
Like Middle East or
No, not Middle East.
Oh, here's New York. Well, no, that was old, wasn't it? Ollie?
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
who won it this previous year.
Was he? Oh, he got hurt this year. He was out.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he like tore a quad or something.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, it wasn't him. But yeah, he's like a 5'6". Him and Ahmad and Kerrith are kind of always going back and forth.
Right.
There's Tonio.
Yo, it's crazy. I was like, oh, damn, I do look big up there.
Yeah. You do not look small next to these guys.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's, you see them and you're like, damn, I look small compared to them.
But you and Martin look very comparable.
Yeah, that's, taking this off season and like seeing where I'm at, because by the end of the day, bro, I'm about 263, 264 by the end of the day. And first thing waking up is it's been 256, 257. Normally in preps, we lose about 20 pounds before getting on stage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if we can beat 230, the low end 230 on stage, it's going to be something different.
Right.
And I watched, because, I like to, people who I know I'm going to end up going against, I like watching them compete. Yeah. Because I see where you pick apart, what they struggle at for the most part. And my posing conditioning is better than most. I can hold poses a lot longer and I don't sweat like other people do. Thanks to Joey, for that, because he kicks my ass, leading up into the show. But like holding the vacuum when you do a front double, I can hold that pose, and I see some people change it and they go back to normal. So just, I pick apart weaknesses and, try to make it a really weak point.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. They keep competing. I love it because I keep watching.
It gives you the perfect opportunity to do your homework. So for all those guys that are out there that like to compete, just know Tonio's watching.
Hell yeah.
He's got his little notepad open. He's or you said you're on your tablet right now, so he's on it right now. He's got his notes. He's got his notes right there. He's just swiping through. He's like, all right, what's my notes on Rafa? What's my notes on Martin? Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why I can't wait to compete against him again too.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Seeing you versus Rafa, you versus Martin again. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how people have improved.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say did you get any screenshots from those questions online? Any interesting ones that popped up?
No, pretty much I had answered them. Most of them. I don't know if anything new came up. Let's see real quick, but man, people are mainly just asking about my mental and if I'm gonna get another bike and
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, just because you got hurt one time doesn't mean you're not gonna. Now, like if I do have a motorcycle, I haven't started riding it yet, but if I were to crash that thing, I probably wouldn't ride again. I think it'd probably stress people out too much.
Yeah,
And
someone said something about on the post about the motorcycle to you bodybuild, so don't get them or whatever. And then someone commented, they said, if we can't have fun because we bodybuild, it now becomes a sport of disability or just being disabled or something like that. And when he said that, shit made a lot of sense. It's like,
mm,
me when I ride my bike, it's a relief. Like there's something about just being free, going fast, being the fastest thing on the road, or letting that wind hit. It's that adrenaline rush is more of a calm to people who do it.
uh-huh.
It's like our high. So that's why, when they're like, "Oh, you got to stop riding, you can't get a bike," I'm like, probably won't get one right now, but I'm getting another bike at some point.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's not. I think people think when motorcycle accidents happen is guaranteed going to, be this ultimate disaster. It's going to be you, whatever, whatever. But I mean, I feel like we only live once, and you can't live life in fear. So someone asked if I would, what would I tell someone who wants to get a motorcycle? Get one. Start off small, of course. Don't try to get a 1,000 right away, but get a lighter bike and feel it.
Mm-hmm. Take
It's I don't
the
know.
back highways, go 35.
Yeah, have it,
I've got a
learn.
cute little road from my RV site to my work where I can just I think it's like max 45, so it's right next to an airport, so it's kind of like little curvy and pretty flat. So I was like, okay, if I decide to keep the bike, I could sell it, but if I decide to keep it, I think that's the road I'm going to take. So get
Right.
something safe, start small.
A lot of bodybuilders have bikes too, like Ebanks. He has the same bike I have. He has a Hayabusa as well. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Beside getting off the topic of motorcycles, but more about like bodybuilders being unable to do things, I saw Ian Valier. He was doing like dirt biking. And I was so happy for that guy that, now that he's retired from professional competing in bodybuilding, he's able to do those things that he's not scared about, where sponsors might be a little hesitant. I was really happy to see that he's
Right.
able to do stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I yeah too. Because when I got into my accident, I mean, Dragon. If anything, Dragon Former became closer. You know, we're already close, but they were there. Checking in on me, making sure I was good if I needed anything. When we had drops that had to come out and I couldn't even go to the gym, they were like, "Yo, just post what we have. Like you can even just post the screenshots of what the drop is." They're all about it. So, man, I'm glad that went with Dragon because, like I told you before, it's a family thing. It's not like other sponsors where they're like, "Oh, that's what it is." Bye.
mm,
Dragon, whenever we have a drop, like literally, he's telling you weeks before what's coming up, what we need to do, how we want it, and prepare it. And we get it, check it out, we post it. So that support from Dragon was real.
yeah.
Same thing with Aslan, like they were on it too.
I haven't talked too much about them on this channel at all, but I definitely need to reach out to them and see what they're all about because I know they've been
Mm-hmm.
making some cool ass graphics for you for years now.
Yeah, yeah,
So
they're good people. I talk to them like friends. We text a lot.
really,
Yeah.
you don't see that very often from people. It's super cool to know that that these brands are more than just money making. Hi Totoro.
You're almost like, what is that?
He sees a big open desk and he's like, maybe I'll just say hi.
Yeah.
But talk to us about this jersey drop because this thing looks sick.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually gonna post content on it tonight. Actually, when my video guy sends it in. But man, it's dope.
Dude, that thing looks like a perfect leg day / back day. That looks comfortable as hell.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, they went crazy with these ones.
Is it like, is it kind of, does it feel like a practice jersey type of feel, or is it more of like a game day jersey?
No, like it's legit. Like it's legit, like a real football
Really?
jersey. Yeah, and they also have shirt too, like pump cover type style of it.
I think I saw you wearing that already, but
Yeah, so I was wearing the shirt. Yeah,
let's see if I can see you in a post wearing it. But I think you were like spotting your son,
yeah,
or
it was the story. I don't think it's still up.
oh, dang, yeah, you're always shirtless.
Yeah, if you got it, show it.
Hey, and I don't have it, so I'm not showing it. But I got a cute little lat spread today that I thought looked pretty good, so I'll
Oh
show
yeah,
that
see, you got to
off,
show it.
dude. Hell yeah! And you got your, did you get your wristbands back, or is this an old photo?
Yeah, nah. So I actually have it on right now.
Oh yeah, they sent you some new ones.
Oh, I'm always getting wristbands. Every time I like get my code to get my new order in, I'll get stickers. I'll get wristbands. I'll get the more socks. Or now I'm gonna start getting the headbands for sure.
Bro, I saw the headbands. I'm so excited. I'm so
Yeah,
excited. I need I need some headbands. I need to order the jersey. I'll use discount code Predator.
yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
I was like, Dragon. They come with it. There's always something. They're always doing something new.
That's what's exciting. I've always loved that about Redcon. The few things I like about Redcon is their merch drop game is just phenomenal. And the
Right,
graphics that you do for promotionals. There's not a lot of brands. I mean, Dragon does a very similar type of energy. Like the drops are phenomenal. The graphics are great. They always have cool merch. Like there's not a lot of brands out there that really do that. And you
right.
gotta you got to salute those Brazilian guys for just absolutely killing the merch game, the drops. I mean, that jersey. How many people make cool jerseys? A Grillaware.
Yeah,
They
you
made a
don't
really
see it.
cool jersey back in the day. They had Dennis James and Brandon Curry. I don't know if you ever saw those jerseys.
I remember that brand.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
heard that before.
yeah. They have those cool. I think I bought shoes from them once. These red lifting shoes. Hey, I'm a bodybuilder's bodybuilder. This is what I do. I just look at this stuff and I'm like, which one of these brands really represents me? Like, which one could I see me wearing? Oh, here we go. It's it's not a great picture, but I'll just, since I'm tangenting off, I'll just show it real quick. But we are getting towards the top of the hour, and I know you said you had something to do, but this is like this was like Dennis James's one, or but yeah, they have these cool ass looking jerseys.
Right, right.
Brandon Curry, of course. He's been with these guys forever. I've always thought that
Yeah,
he was. I always thought that he like had like ownership, but who knows? But yeah, look at that. That's a cool jersey. It's got the logo right there.
yeah,
Got the custom logo in the where the NFL thing normally is.
yeah. I like the jersey look.
Yeah, it makes. I don't know if you of course you remember. Like I think it was maybe 2016, 2018. Everybody was wearing like literally like a Kai Green tracksuit with everyone had like Ultimate Nutrition or Muscle Tech. Everyone looked like they were like a professional athlete. They had all their
Right.
logos on. That was my favorite era of bodybuilding. And now everyone's wearing like Young LA and all these like,
Yeah.
it's more like
Gymshark.
brand, yeah, it's like brand specific. It's not like, oh, this is my sponsor and this, I'm a sponsored athlete, this is my team merch. Like I
Right.
thought that was the coolest part of bodybuilding. That's literally why I bought this, is because I loved Kai Green and I loved watching him wear his muscle meds, right? The red muscle meds hoodies and the
Yeah.
the jumpsuits. Oh, I've got folders, man, of like just always like looking through and seeing like what people wear to give me ideas on how I can make our branding for Monday Morning Muscle. And
Right.
I've been playing around with like the big build trucker hats. So I'm playing around. I'm still waiting for the Dragon Pharma designer guy to reach out.
Oh yeah, Xavier.
Xavier, yeah, I messaged Xavier and I'm still waiting on him. So Xavier, help a brother out. Like we need cool merch, man. Help us. Take my money.
Right.
But that is an hour, Tonio. You said you had some other stuff going on later. What else we got? Tell the viewers who we have planned for this Friday. They should be excited.
Oh
We're gonna be
yeah, we had
recording.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike Connell's
Yeah,
coming
having
on.
Mike come on. Yeah.
We'll be recording Friday, and that episode will be up next Monday because you'll be seeing this tomorrow on Monday morning. And that should be exciting. And then after that one, we've got quite a few people kind of bouncing around in the yes, but when. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can figure out who's coming on when, who's on first, who's on second, and hopefully we get you guys' questions in too. So look for the Mike Connell post. It'll be around Tuesday or Wednesday on Instagram, collaborated with the Monday Morning Muscle, and of course your host here, Tonio Burton. So look for that. Get your questions in early so that I can get to those questions first, because just like this episode, we did 40 minutes straight of just talking, and then we're like, oh yeah, did we have any questions?
Yeah.
Be prepared. And if you really want to see your question get answered, maybe put like a little $5 bill in an envelope and send it to Tonio. I don't know. I don't know if he's got the super chats or what going on his Instagram, but if bribe your boy and he might be able to get it in. I don't know.
Put my Cash App in the bio.
There you go, and put your question in the notes section.
Right.
Hey, if you want your question, sometimes you just got to make it happen. Like you've seen Fuad's, he'll go through and he has like 300 questions. I'm like, okay, well he's gonna get to 2.
Yeah.
It's impossible. Like, oh, it's coming. It's we will have that problem eventually. But
yeah.
But that'll do it. Tonio, thanks for hanging out with us for an hour, and we will talk. You guys will talk with us again on Friday with Mike Connell for another episode. I think we're almost on episode 10 for Monday Morning Muscle. So
yeah, around there.
Exciting stuff. But Tonio, thank you for taking the time. And of course, shout out to our phenomenal sponsor, Dragon Pharma, all their amazing merch, swag, and supplementation. So check those guys out. Discount code PREDATOR to help support our boy here, IFBB Pro, Tonio Burton. But that's it for me. Tonio, any thoughts to the fans at home?
Like, subscribe. Let us know what you want to talk about next.
Subscribe, and let us know what you want to talk about. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And we will see you Friday with Mike Connell.